What's going on YouTube? Once again with the new interview, catching up with the homie Brandon.
Michael, hi.
Brandon Michael, what's going on with you?
I was Dopeless the last time I was in this car.
That's right. Yeah. So let's get into that. Like, what changed the names?
So, so 3 months ago, I had dealt with two of the hardest situations of my life, and that was dealing with my breakup to someone I was supposed to get married to next month, actually, and then finally dealing with the abandonment issues with my father. And my father, he was the most wanted man in Kent, Washington at one time. He had abused 3 different women that we know of, and I have 3 little sisters that I just recently got to meet from him. And it was kind of crazy because, like, the only thing I said to him was, "My name is Brandon." And I wrote a song 2 months before that called "My Name is Brandon," and it was all about loving myself. And it just so happened I released that song like a week or so later, and it became my fastest growing single of all time so far. And then I set out on a trip from California through Oregon, to Washington, all the way back down to California on $7 of my own money, literally following the same trail that my dad left behind 27 years ago.
Wow.
And then, so to answer the question specifically, being Brandon Michael is my way of accepting myself as a tastemaker, an influential artist, music teacher, psychology, and human rights advocate, activist, whatever great words you want to use. But it's also like my way of giving honor to a name that my dad left so damaged. My middle name just happens to be his first name. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun facts about this trip, man.
Yeah, man, it's a really good trip. Let's talk about a trip. So with this trip, like, what was the main goal of it?
So first and foremost, we have this benefit show on November 24th in Soquel, California. That's Michael's on Main, one of the most respected venues in Santa Cruz County. They're donating a lot of great resources in terms of press, and they are also helping us funnel funds to Monarch services in Santa Cruz County. About that, so I went on my trip not only to meet my little sisters in Washington for the first time, but I also was promoting this benefit show that we have in November. I was walking into every shop that I could, trying to get sponsorships for bringing this showcase to other places almost right away. And then on top of it, so that was the main initial goal of the trip. And then as I was on my trip, I realized I could document everything on a $130 cell phone. And so I've been posting to my Instagram story the whole way. And Instagram also gives you an option to automatically save everything that you post. So I've been writing an ebook at the same time about my travels. I've been creating show flyers. People are getting live actual documentation of my healing process. So what started off as just promoting this benefit show with my homie Miles, who is the other half of my musical group / nonprofit Venegas, it became a lot more than that. I'm gonna be seeing a lot of city officials in a week or so talking about everything I just mentioned. So
good shit. All right, let's bring it back a little bit. So since the last interview, you were named Dopeless, and you had an album that you dropped that same period of time.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about what the expectations were for that album, how people received it, and did you think it met your expectations?
For Less is More?
Less is More.
Dang, man. That one, it was interesting, man, because I didn't really realize back then, like, and when I say back then, it really wasn't that long ago.
It doesn't seem like that. It was not that. It looks like a long time ago, but it really wasn't.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
And, like, it was. I want to say it's almost been 5 years since I even started rapping. So for anything in my career, everything has exceeded my expectations. I mean, I remember when I released a fucking shitty ass song named Blessing, and Token, he had actually tagged me in a he was like asking people to send him songs for feedback. I know the deeper reason why he did that now. It was just promotion. But I mean, he did say that it was original. He liked it, and it talked about the real struggle, which it did. But that's kind of the thing with Less is More too. I just, I had recorded 12 songs like 6 months prior to the actual EP being finished, and then that was in a hot ass house in Reading. I literally call that the fucking hyperbolic rhyme chamber, because I was in a closet recording while my homie Johnny, much love to you, Johnny, but I was so mad at you, bro. Like,
oh shit!
It's super hot in this closet, and I'm just sweating profusely. And this dude's like, "Nope, again. Nope, again.
Yeah.
Nope, again." I'm like, "God damn it, you motherfucker!" But then I ended up back in Santa Cruz, and I ended up working with Anthony Pisto Cruz, Scavenger Beats. Shout out Tim and Anthony, man. You guys are fucking amazing. They donated a lot of time to get that project done. And my homie Paul Sintetos, who I used to DJ at raves with back in the day. If you've ever been to a Santa Cruz Renegade party around that time, you know what I'm talking about. But he had produced most of the beats on that. And the cool thing about my story, man, like, it's just kind of naturally coming out this way, but that same homie just sent me hella beats. I'm working with Tim pretty soon. Anthony Pisto, I've been reaching out to you for a very long time now. You should definitely get back to me.
She's I'm saying hit him right up.
If any of you guys have heard the song I'm Done by me, which you should go look at now.
Link in the description.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, planning ahead, what's up? Pisto and Scavenger Beats actually produced that one. And it's funny that you mentioned Less is More, actually, because that will actually be getting cataloged in the Santa Cruz Public Library.
Oh, that's sweet.
So, my album is literally going to be a piece of Santa Cruz history.
Hey, man, congratulations.
I told you, I'm giving you all the exclusives. How you doing?
Hell yeah. All right, so from the last time I talked to you, you were named Dopeless because you didn't have, you didn't actually like do like, you like drugs and stuff. Is that still true now with the name change, or is it just like, we'll talk about it?
Let's talk about it. So it's funny because I smoked weed for the first time when it became legal, and that was in itself, like, in and of itself, it was letting me know that it could potentially be a problem, but then it was also kind of my sign that the conversation on recovery is changing. And just because I smoke weed does not mean I am a bad person, and I think recovery, NA, AA, all of that is amazing. I've seen so many great things that stem from that program. I mean, damn, they got like conferences of thousands of people across the world, so obviously they're doing something right.
Yeah.
But I also realized, if you listen to my album Speaks for Itself, and then you combine elements of The Secret, manifestation, you got being the change, literally, you got aspects of Christianity, Buddhism, like, that's kind of how I'm living my life right now. I'm just taking little bits of everything that, all the old sayings that you hear, freaking slow and steady wins the race, like all of those kinds of things. I'm living by those at the moment. And Dopeless, Dopeless, that identity was great. And I loved the music I created. gave me an amazing template to work with now, in terms of where I want to go in the future.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely let me see that I always want to tell my real story, and because that's what people are gonna fucking remember.
Yeah.
But it also showed me Dopeless was kind of an identity that, I was always on a constant search for validation. I talked about my daddy issues a lot because I was kind of like hoping that he would see it one day and reach out to me. And, in the deeper part about it is like, I didn't pay attention to a lot of great people in my life because I was waiting for him. And, I could sit around waiting for him, or I could sit in a car getting interviewed. I don't know what sounds better to you.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I feel it though. If there's any message you can give to anybody who's struggling with addiction or anything like that, what would be the one advice you'd like to give them?
Your story is relatable. Your story is marketable. If you're interested in art or business, you have the best pitch in the world because everyone can relate to what you're talking about. We are not alone. We have all been through the issues that I talk about to some degree. The 90s were a great time for art, but they were also the breeding ground for a lot of the bad things that you see happening in the music industry and society today. The reason that people don't like cussing is because it teaches you to hide things. I made that discovery for myself. I mean, that's what I believe. You don't have to believe that, but I've had a lot of interesting things go on with like language and, psychology. Reverse psychology is very effective as well. But yeah, man, like if there's anything I could tell to anyone struggling through addiction is that we understand what it's like to be on the bottom. When they say that you hit your rock bottom, you're not the only one. So it's good to speak out, man. If someone's put you through trauma, if you yourself are that person who put yourself through trauma, be honest with yourself. Say sorry to yourself. Forgive yourself. And then let go of that shit that you've been holding on to for however long. Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you get to live life the way I do. And that's fucking amazing. So, and I'm always a person that you can reach out to, too. Like, there is another, like, I'm not going to reveal it right now, but there are going to be multiple identities that come along with Brandon Michael. So, and it's going to showcase, and it's going to involve different forms of media and art all rolled into one. So, if I can do that, and I can do all the things that I told you with literally no money in my pocket, what can you do?
Most definitely. Okay, now let's talk about Team Backpack.
Oh!
So what's going on with Team Backpack, and what's going on? Let's talk about it.
Well, this is the kind of role that I feel like I want to play now. I want to speak out against people that are unfair in the music industry, man. And to be honest, Team Backpack, they started off as a really, really great community of artists. But, I'm not going to talk a bunch of shit on specific people. That is not my place. My place is letting you know that there is a network that operates on fair trade, paying fair rates for services, and it's more about independent business owners getting together and collaborating and teaching each other how to be business owners, because I'm done living in a world of employees, to be honest. So with that being said, go ask Team Backpack why they changed their name to World Underground all of a sudden. Go ask Team Backpack. Oh shit, you can't ask Team Backpack because they're technically not existent. You gotta go ask World Underground. You gotta ask World Underground why a few artists that won a Team Backpack competition didn't get the EPs that they were promised. I mean, if we're gonna talk about facts, right? Because some of those artists are my homies, dog. Like, I've seen them struggle. The fucked up part about it is, a homie of mine, he's gone viral on that fucking platform. multiple times, and he was smart about his rights, and you know, they told him take a hike. Do, do you want to work with people like that, man? Just because they got Joel Ortiz on a little smidgen of what they do? They probably... Oh, man, the more I talk about it, the more I honestly get mad, because like I said before to you, before we started rolling, man, like, these kids just need to be told they can do it. And instead of encouraging them, you put a dollar sign in front of their face, and then you pick someone else just based on the people that they know. That's fucked up. Let's take it back to actual skill, bruh. Like, I'm gonna have my whole roster diss your roster, man. I'm gonna have a 20-year-old named Lux fuck you up musically. And if the person I'm thinking of is watching this at any point, you know who I'm talking to, bruh.
It's real.
I don't need to say names. The right ones already know.
That's right. Said and done. With that in mind, like the Santa Cruz rap scene, I remember last time we had that conversation. And I asked you, like, do you feel like you would be the one person to, like, really, like, not be the leader, but, like, really, like, be the one to really keep the rap scene moving? You said there's a lot of responsibility at the time. Do you still feel the same way now, or how do you feel about what's going on with the Santa Cruz rap scene right now?
The Santa Cruz rap scene, okay, so, like, I took off for a month, and I came back, so I was able to see how actual businessmen do their thing, people on the ground level, how they promote their shit. I saw, you know, I met a veteran who played his own version of a long game and is still able to travel basically on no budget, you know, just like me. Like, I mean, this dude's old too. But you know what I mean? It's like the state of the Santa Cruz rap scene specifically, though, I think the standard just needs to be raised. Like, these big opportunities that are coming for me, like, it's coming because I understand the long game, and I understand creating self-sustaining relationships and business models with actual people that have created that for themselves. You know, it's all about who you know. These are my friends that I've known for a long time. They know my deepest, darkest secrets. It's not anything unique to me. That's the same thing that we all have. People are going to start seeing me blow up after 5 years, and that's because I've literally been living my 5-year plan. A lot of you artists don't realize that you've been living your 5-year plan, man. Like, even a 1-year plan. If you start reaching out to everyone you know, and you keep your bigger game of chess to yourself, because they can't get in here, right? And then you start pinpointing who you want to talk to, who can move your shit ahead. You know, everyone's a chess piece, but no one's a pawn, right? So that's the conversation I want to start in Santa Cruz, and it's already starting. You know, I already got you donating time. I already got my homie Fury Figueroa donating time at Excellent Studios. Holla at him for really quality recording for a budget. See, that's the thing too. I got nothing but money savers, man. You want to get radio quality shit at, like, I don't know, 25, 30 an hour. And the greatest thing about business relationships, if you keep them honest from the jump, and then you keep just doing better with those business relationships, and every time you talk to them, it's more of an announcement than anything else, a lot of great things can happen.
Nothing but game.
And, like, you know, I'm just speaking on things as I learn them. There are some things I'm keeping to myself, obviously, because I can't just put it on blast. But, you know, like, there's only so much you can give people that, you know, you create the want to, the desire to know more. Like, there's even more stuff that coincide with me and Lux and my homie Josh Harley that has not been shared yet. And then you got more. So what I'm literally trying to do right now is give you guys as an example, a living, breathing example of how to make it. Like, if you go on my Instagram, it's basically a how-to on networking and pushing your brand like that in a month. It's totally up to you, though. Like, a Google search will tell you a lot.
Real shit. And also in the link in the description, you can send you right to there so you can see it for yourself. Yep. So with this in mind, so do you believe that you are the next leader of the Santa Cruz rap scene?
And that's the thing, right? Like, do I want to just rap? Do I want to just be a rapper? Like, you know, the term rapper, I think, like, needs a bit more meat to it. Like, it needs more people giving that term value for me to say, like, I want to be a rapper. Like, I realize it's my best way of marketing all these causes right now, because I've studied the game and I've studied how the mainstream industry pushes their shit, and I've tested their tactics on, you know, a fucking $130 cell phone, and it's worked. I've seen my numbers grow. So it's like, I already have plans to not just do hip-hop. Like, I have plans to do pop, R&B, like, folk, fucking rock, like, everything, man, because at the end of the day, it's deeper than, you know, just like Dead Prez said, it's bigger than hip-hop. If you listen to a lot of their music, dog, like, they were pushing some fucking really, really positive messages, and the reason that it grew so quickly is because they spoke for the people. The reason that's an anthem for underground hip-hop is because of the message that it's greater than all of us. If you want to be a rapper, that's fine. I want to be an artist. I want to invoke emotion. I want to be able to relate to who I'm speaking to. Mumble rap, dog, like, it's kind of funny. I think we had a conversation about this before, but you can even use mumble rap to your advantage. I've seen Hobson's done it. Fucking this one dude named PFV that's done the Funk Volume contest and done really well. He's created a mumble rap alter ego for himself. Like, why can't we just use what they do, like what the mainstream industry does, against them, right? Like, fucking, if you see what works, why don't you just do what works and build up your own name in the background, man? Ain't that hard? Like, instead of hating on it, ride the wave for a second, man. Like,
yeah. I mean, some people just like to keep the general, like, hip-hop, like, spirit to the original thing that it was, so they see it as a threat. So, you know what I mean?
That's the funny thing, man. People forget the original thing that it was. It didn't start off with hard bars. It literally started off in New York with people throwing random parties of all different types of music. It wasn't just rap, man. Like, you guys gotta get, like, sorry, not you, but, like, all these dudes, they gotta stop looking at Eminem as the fucking dawn of hip-hop. Like, it's not. He's not. He was given tools from the people that came before him. Yes, he was white. Yes, he was saying outlandish shit. But, I mean, like, there was a time before him. And that time was, like, the 70s, I believe, you know?
The late 70s.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, the fucking Get Down. It shows you. Like, it shows you the time era that it started. Like, I don't know why people question. Honestly, and Merce put it like this, and I put it like this in the last interview that I had with you. Mumble rappers actually showcase more of what real hip-hop is about than hip-hop today. Like, they're getting together and throwing parties, and their music... Dude, if you even look at some of the MCs from back in the 70s, some of them are literally just being like, I got my shades on. I'm at a shades on. And sometimes they only say one word every 4 bars. So what? They're all having fun, man. Like, they were all dealing with hella bad times back then, just like we are now. And the mumble rappers, they could change their focus on lean and all that, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, they're giving these kids an escape, you know, to have fun while they listen to their music. Like, I mean, we could do that.
Although with the lean stuff, it's kind of like, the one thing I heard it was put is like the 70s music, you know, the disco. Disco is all about like the girls, the drugs, the cars, money, and all that. And where's disco now? You know what I mean? It was a very destructive thing that, yeah, you can have fun, you can, you know, do all this stuff and stuff. It's cool. We need a little escape. We can't just have bars, lyrical miracle all the time. I can't do that in the gym. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that at the club. No. You know what I'm saying? I can't listen to that shit during the club and all that shit, you know? Not that I go to clubs anymore, but it's like, you know, people need a little balance of it. It's just like sometimes when the majority just turns into just that, it almost like devalues it. You know what I mean? This is not my personal opinion. It's just like an opinion that's out there about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I heard like I think it was DMC who said it, and like he was talking about like it just becomes this like very destructive music. It doesn't have the balance anymore. Once the balance is gone, it just takes over. You know, that's why people like overdose on these drugs and all these things. You know, rest in peace, Mac Miller, and you know what I mean, like
dude.
All these things go on, so it's a very destructive thing at one point. It has to be that balance of the lyrical miracles, the fun, happy rap, and you know all this stuff. Because if it's just all one thing, like it becomes, then it's a real problem. That's why people like see it that way. It's a threat. Not that they hate mumble rappers in general. Yeah, do that shit. Because sometimes people, even like Lil Wayne has done like fun, like you know, almost borderline mumble rap shit. You know what I mean? But there's still a balance of keeping that real shit too. So that's basically I think why people like really hate on it hard like they do, because they see it like everyone's riding the wave. So many people are riding the wave, not many people are like shredding it.
Yeah, I mean, like let me ask you guys watching, man. Do you want to ride the wave or create the wave? Because like I mean, you could hop on a wave for 1 second, literally, or you could plan the next wave after that wave. If you start thinking of like your art as a chance to do something that no one else is, do that shit. You know, we have literally nothing but capabilities that are like time stamped, dated, video documented, photographed, that proves it was you. Think about that. That's powerful. That's hella powerful. You could come up with the next idea right now. Do you know how much it costs to like get a business license? $132, bruh.
Not much at all, actually. people spend that on weed, man.
You know, there's a phone app that literally calculates your business expenses down to the amount of time for travel. Just think about it, man. Like, I don't know. When I think of, it's a very interesting topic because you got like, you know, the people who argue about like the meaning of freestyle all day. They'll
oh yeah,
bruh. Okay. Let me talk about a few things very quickly. So first off, rest in peace, Mac Miller. And you know, I'm not gonna lie to anyone. I wasn't too big of a fan of Mac Miller, but I wasn't a big fan of Lil Peep either. But the fact that we're losing these guys so young is really fucking terrible. Like, and the thing I really want people to pay attention to is people are like, they predicted their death. No. They literally wrote their environment into existence. So it's like, even Mac Miller, he has lines about like not wanting to make it into the 27 Club or not wanting to be a part of it or whatever. And that's all about, you know, dying before the... and he ended up... And he used the word hope a lot in his lyrics. And the power of language is very powerful, man. If you tell yourself hope all the time, that means you're like reaching for something that you may not get. If you tell yourself that you're going to get it, then hey, you just fucking might.
So send the energy out there, right?
Yeah, I mean Tupac has the perfect quote about it, man, and I tested it out with my marketing the other day. The energy you put out is the energy you receive. I went through a trigger kind of moment with my ex that I had broken up with, and I talked shit on my fucking Instagram story automatically, and the word traveled because people love drama and everything, and I invited that energy right back in my life. Like, the nosy friends of hers were starting to watch my stories again, and it made me see in that moment, like, you have nothing but power to create your story. And when you write down positive affirmations about yourself and goals and your dreams all in one book, that means like you're aligning your mind with positive thinking all the time, and then you get in contact with dudes like me that really do shit, and you know, things start moving because it's all about who you know, right?
That's right. Real shit, dude. Alright, so let's talk about new projects coming up. So, is there an album coming out in this works? EP, mixtape, you know what I'm saying? Like, What's in the works right now?
So right now, woo, man, what don't I got going on right now in terms of music? There are some of these things I definitely want to keep as a surprise because it goes to the overall game of chess. But you can definitely see me working with all different types of music, from unorthodox indie type shit to hip hop and all the genres I've mentioned earlier, with a lot of great people that are actually a part of my life as well. So there's going to be some surprising collabs on there with people that you'd be like, whoa, Brandon got that. Brandon got it like that. And then there's going to be some like, oh shit, I didn't know they sang. So again, it's all about who you know, right? But I'm in the process, to answer your question about specifically, I got that going on. I got my 3 major albums mapped out already. I'm working on this is actually the first time that people get to hear this, but I'm working on getting my kids. I met 2 20-year-old artists on my travels by the names of Lux and Josh, and they are the 2 first artists on my record label. And they're gonna be, I'm actually in the process of building a show for them in April in Santa Cruz, and they're going to be hopping on stage with me and doing some fun things with my old songs. So get ready for that. It's no gang season in this bitch. April is no gang season. Wear a lot of blue. That's just a forewarning. The colors will change. Don't worry. We're not claiming anything out here. We're not claiming anything. It's to start the conversation that color doesn't matter. We already have the blueprint. We already have the blueprint all laid out for it. So, gotcha. But yeah, basically, I got a lot planned for the future. And these 2 kids that I mentioned, they already have all of my marketing, branding, psychology, music tips that they need to hustle on their own. And they're from 2 different states. So, are you guys ready to play in the long game? Are you guys ready to make it a real competition? I already got my first Santa Cruz rapper that I've locked my target on for a diss. And I've already written a 2nd track in case he decides to respond. And then I have the template of a 3rd one. So now you know my hand. And now you can even tell people he spent all that time writing about me. Now that you know my whole hand, what you gonna do?
He wants to smoke. He wants to smoke.
I'm telling you, I'm coming ready, man. Like, I have a whole fucking diss series called the Unholy Trinity Diss Series where I already have all these written. You can even fucking take that name. I don't care, dude. It's not about that. It's about setting the standard, bruh. Like, it's about getting out there and doing it and planning it. Like, I'm doing what Eminem's doing. And I'm not doing it in a way that, you know, is sucking his dick by any means. It's like looking at what works and then implementing it. So, now that you know my strategy, you guys can start firing at me anytime. Anytime. I already post my fucking lyrics to my story as exercise shit that I wrote on the spot. So if you can read that and then see where I'm going with all this, then, you know, you may want to try and diss me, you may not. But it's up to you. But I'm already gonna do it to 1 rapper. Anyone else can step up at any time. Let's go.
That's right. All right. Anything else you want to add to the people out there at all?
So I just want to let everyone know that this would not have happened without the influence of my best friend, Willie Venegas. Rest in peace. He passed away 6 years ago, man. And I stepped in his family's house with my best friend, Miles, who was there for the hardest shit of my life. And we walked into his family's house and we said that we wanted to start a music group and a nonprofit in my friend's name. And 3 months, like a little over 3 months later, we have all the means to actually make that happen legitimately. And we're, you know, kind of becoming marketing consultants, business advisors, musicians, advocates, activists, all of this rolled into one for a bunch of different organizations all over the country, and then furthermore around the world. So thank you to Karen and Fernando, man. Like, I want you guys to see this video, and I want you guys to really see the power that your son still has without even being here. But he is here. So, right here. And I'm going to live life the way that he wanted me to. And that's by talking my shit.
Right. That's right. Well, Brandon, always a pleasure.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Keep a lookout for him. He's coming out with new shit.
1 a.m. Holla at me, man.
Hey, you guys need to collab soon, man. Shit. Alright, so I need links down in the description. Make sure to check him out. If you hear any new music from him, check out the websites, all that shit. And stay tuned and make sure to subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. Always be up to date on my new videos. And we out this bitch.
We out here.